Okie dokie. Been busy at the old Ponderosa. Oh, we had a lot of rain. Oh, the most rain we've had since 1993, so that set us back. Just got done planting yesterday. Had to plant, about 800 acres, and it took about 8 days. And that's doing other shit too, because there's a lot of setbacks and being short-handed and downtime with the drill, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But the carburetor's been done a while. Look at that. It's the only goddamn clean thing on the engine. That was my guess. So today, this morning I came out. I got around a little bit earlier than the father-in-law. Put it on, which don't take but a second. Then had bigger fish to fry. Getting that ready for harvest, which will be starting in a couple days. So, I couldn't make a video earlier due to being busy. So, after I got put on, before we started shuffling vehicles and me starting to service the combine, I tried to fire it up. And remember what I said was, this is the holy grail. This is what's going to do it. The carburetor is the problem. Well, we put it on, and I apologize for not having a video. I guess it wouldn't be too eventful. I'll just tell you what happened. It did the same thing. It would fire. It fired a lot easier. And as soon as I'd stop turning the starter over, it would stop running. So that led me to two things. It's either starving for fuel, I have to blow the fuel lines out, yada yada, or something's wrong with the wiring. Because it seemed to me more likely that when I turned the starter off, the points stopped getting power. So I looked under the dash, and this thing's been rewired. It's been a while ago, but they're definitely not 1964 wires. And I noticed there's a couple wires that are with butt connectors that are disconnected. Well, at one time this thing had a CB in it, so I assume that's what it was. Well, there's another one in both the right. Well, I shouldn't say both the wires. One's red and one's pink, but that's kind of close. And they're butt connectors. It's like, you know what? I'll check it out. So before I hooked those wires up, I turned the points on, turned it over to accessory, and I put my volt tester. You probably can't see it. It's pretty dark, but there's a wire down there that's chewed up, and I need to. And it goes to the distributor. Instead of taking the cap off to see if the points got juice, since the wires or the insulation stripped off this goddamn wire because the rats. Or the mice, I should say, what little mice damage it has, I put the volt tester to it, there was nothing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to hook up this wire that's underneath the dash in there, and I'll redo the volt test. Well, instead of even doing that, getting the goddamn tester out, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Once I hooked that wire up, I was like, I'll turn it over and see what it does. So, this is what it did. And this is a 1964, like I said, with 125,000 miles on it. It's been sitting for 25 years. No, pardon me, 21 years. It was parked when I was in high school, and I'm almost 40. So there you have it. So, here we go. I must admit, I'm pretty fucking proud of myself. Been resurrecting old vehicles since I was 18 or 19, and I'm still batting 1,000. And this was my hardest test yet, in terms of sitting the longest. And it took more work than the El Camino, but I learned a lot from that son of a bitch. And I learned a lot from other cars over the years. Yeah. So I got her, and she runs pretty good, and you saw how easy this fucker fires up for a car this old, or a vehicle this old. I mean, it starts up like a goddamn brand new vehicle, which I was very surprised. Next step is wiper inserts, which I have right here, which is by no means a project. Hood hinges, they're completely fucked. Let me show you what they do to these if you don't know. They basically put a bolt through these and then just get them hot and hammer them. Kind of a way of riveting, I guess. Well, over time they get wallered out. And I took this off, and I think I mentioned in another video, and I did as best as I could, and it still came it gets sprung, and I mean, they're fucking toast. 80 bucks a piece, 160 bucks for 2 new hinges. I'll do that. Radiator, found a place that has one. That's about 180 bucks, give or take. Hoses, already have. Thermostat, I have as well. It's also in the cab. The thermostat housing I took off, which is pretty bad. I'm going to sandblast this if I can, but the problem with that is so fucking thin. I'm afraid if I sandblast it, it'll turn to nothing. And a new one is like, oh shit. It's more than I want to spend. If I recall correctly, I think they're about 60 bucks. Keep in mind, it's a $100 pickup. But she runs fucking good. Damn surprised. And I'm going to pat myself on the back and keep doing it. Anyway, once she gets roadworthy, 4 new tires, and I'm sure the brakes need some work. But that is along the line. For now, she is officially resurrected, back from the dead since 1995. So it'll be a while. We got harvest and shit coming up and other stuff. And I think maybe tonight, if not tonight, maybe the next couple days, I'll get the radiator ordered and the hood hinges. Which actually the hood hinges don't make a shit. But the radiator, that way I can get it running and run it long enough to time it. Because to me it sounds like it's hitting on all 8 and it's running good, but something just don't sound right. Maybe it's just the fact that it's running open exhaust and no muffler. But to me, I don't know. My ear says it needs a little timing work, which wouldn't surprise me. And that's also not a big deal. And then we'll see if the generator actually charges the battery. That's also something we're going to have to do, is reinforce this metal and get a tray. It's like a mount a goddamn battery in it. Minor things, but still obstacles. Here's a souvenir. The old distributor cap. I'll autograph this and mail this to anybody that wants it. If they donate to my GoFundMe, I'll sell that for maybe $300 or $400. Okay, have a nice evening.